Thank you, everyone. We'll call the regular council meeting of Thursday, October 7th, call it to order at 12:32 p.m. And first off, if I could, we will entertain the adoption of the agenda. You have the you have the agenda before you. Any additions, deletions? Seeing none. Claus?
I'll move the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Moving down, we have the minutes of our... Sorry, I misspoke earlier. Sorry, I had the minutes open. The minutes from our October 7th council meeting. Mark and John, you were you able to see the minutes? Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Procedurally, do we just abstain on this because we weren't there, we don't know, or do we?
I knew this question was going to arise. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. My inkling, I'm leaning towards that you would vote, but you know what? I think it's safe either way. You know, there are at least a quorum, four members of the previous council that were present. So. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So, I guess if they do abstain, Mr. Chairman, we just need to record the reason why, and it's probably a valid reason that they didn't participate in that meeting, and so technically maybe they don't have a sound knowledge of whether the minutes accurately reflect the proceedings. So.
Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
Anne?
One other point too as well on I-1. Normally, Councillor Sayers and Councillor, how do you say that? Kurbis. We do a report once a month on council attendance, and it's just a brief update for you to bring forward what committees you sat on and what happened at the committees. So I-1 is from the previous council, and we just wanted to put it here as an example for the new members of council.
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome.
Morris?
I'll move the previous minutes, previous minutes as presented.
Thank you, Morris. Any discussion? I'll call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. And as Larry indicated, Mark and John have chosen to abstain as they were not present at the last council meeting. Okay, moving down. G, department reports. G 2.1, Division 5 by-election. Larry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Council. As you can see, the short report before you, just starting with the executive summary, Lethbridge County has been issued a ministerial order that dictates the Council must select a date for a by-election for Division 5 to be held no later than April 30th, 2022. Our recommendation today is that Monday, December 13th, 2021, be established as general voting day for a by-election for Division 5 in Lethbridge County, and further, that Candace Robeson be appointed as returning officer and Maddie Elliott be appointed as substitute returning officer. Administration is not aware of any past history in Lethbridge County where there has not been a council member or a nominee at least for any division in a local election, but that happened for this October 18th local election whereby there was no nominations at all for Division 5. So following the provincial legislation, we extended the nomination period for 6 days. Still no one stepped forward, so we notified the minister of this, and hence this resulted in the ministerial order that's been issued dictating that we must hold a by-election by, again, the end, no later than April 30th, 2022. So, with respect to alternatives here, Council, of course, can set the date for the by-election in Division 5 as Monday, December 13th, 2021, as per our recommendation. One of the advantages here, we believe, is, of course, if someone steps forward and we have an election or an acclamation and someone fills that role, fills that seat for Division 5, it will allow that individual to join council very early on in this new term and hopefully still be able to participate in perhaps some of the budget discussions and certainly some of the council orientation. Whereas if they were to join in March, for example, they will have missed a good piece of the preparations to get council up and moving for this next term. One of the drawbacks, I guess, potentially is that if there's an election slightly less than 2 weeks before Christmas, perhaps, voter turnout or interest might be less. Maybe even candidate interest would be lower. I don't know. But that's the only option really we have if council wishes to proceed to have this done before Christmas. And we are cutting it tight because of the legislated timelines. If council does approve December 13th as general election day, that will mean that nomination period will begin tomorrow. So tomorrow morning at 8:30 when our doors open, candidates in theory could come in and deposit nomination papers. Nomination day itself, if that is the date that council goes with, would actually be Monday, November 15th, meaning that by noon on Monday, November 15th, that would be the close of nominations. 4 weeks exactly from that day, if you were to look at your calendar, you can see it's December 13th. That's when the general election day would occur in that situation. Of course, council does have the option of, choosing another date in the new year and, just drawing it out a little bit more and avoiding the Christmas and December rush, let's say. With respect to financial impact, if council chooses to appoint the staff members as recommended as the returning officer for the by-election and the substitute returning officer, it's estimated the cost of the election will be somewhere in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. Additional costs would be incurred, of course, if the returning officer position were contracted out. And again, one other thing I think it's obvious we can see, but I'll just point out for anyone maybe listening at home or whatever, if council chooses December 13th as general election day, there's not time simply to put out an RFP and try to hire someone to fill that role. So staff internal are very capable of managing that if that's council's directions. Reason for the recommendation, I think I touched on that, just that kind of the sooner the better that a council member can be on board to participate fully in council activities and help shape the next 4 years for Lethbridge County. Attached to that report, you'll see the letter we received back from the Minister of Municipal Affairs, and attached to that is the actual ministerial order itself. And that is my report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Welcome.
Council, any discussion? Claus?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we do anything more to attract a person to want to come forward? Because I had quite a few phone calls last time asking me about what was all involved and everything, and I referred them back to the county website, that they would go there. It seems like the people don't know where to get the information, and I find that really kind of strange, because I think it's pretty obvious, that to go there first and see. So I refer them to that all the time, because I can tell them that, but you always forget something, right? So can we do any more of attracting a person than just the procedure that we had with last time? Because get a little extras there somehow to get somebody in.
Mr. Chairman, in response to Councillor Vanderveen's question about that, I know Maddie, our communications coordinator, put through all the avenues available to her, Twitter and Facebook, the county website, our newsletters, the Sunny South News, of course, and so on, and got it out there. I suppose, if the council really wanted to really push this, a letter could be mailed to every address in Division 5 and saying, hey, folks, there's an election coming, and here's a little bit more information, and we encourage you to express interest if you so wish to. That could be an option. Costs some money, but maybe that's something that could be considered.
Thank you, Larry. Warren,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think we got more traction out of the news article that was on the news that night. for that. People weren't even aware that nobody had filled out any papers, and that kind of stirred up the pot. I think that's the best avenue to go, personally.
I agree, Lauren. We did have a lot of traction after that interview. I have another one scheduled today, depending on how council's decision comes out. So likely that'll be on the news today or tomorrow, and that'll be further because Lauren is correct. There's a lot of people who watch the local news. So I think we did get a lot of traction out of that. But we have done our due diligence. I think one of the other challenges too is the way that the time frame for nominations is set up. It's 2 hours every day, and it's challenging for people to get in here, and that's a legislative problem that we can't correct yet.
Okay.
Actually,
What?
it's a little bit different than that.
Oh, it's different?
Yeah.
Okay.
So can I just clarify
Yeah.
a little bit?
Yes.
So for that nomination period,
Yep.
it's all day that our office is open? It's
No,
on-
I meant before.
Oh,
That's why
I'm
they
sorry.
couldn't get in.
Yeah.
After the date
Yeah.
had passed.
Exactly,
It was,
exactly. So I
it
think
was
that,
restricted.
we did have a lot of people that called after 12 o'clock, so there was that challenge.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
No,
Larry, I don't want to be the negative one, but come the 15th, we are unable to have a candidate come forward and submit their nomination papers, revert to a similar process as the prior time where we would go to a restricted window, as Ann alluded to, or how does that process play out then?
Yep, precisely. Thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. And it just mirrors, the bylaw is essentially in all facets the same as the regular election process. So there's a nomination period, there's a dedicated nomination day, they call it. It just means the last day of the nomination period in real terms. And then if there were no one who had stepped up to that point, then we would extend it kind of a day at a time until, and if someone, for example, on day 3 of the 6-day extension, someone came in and submitted their papers, if by noon on day 3, for example, there were no other candidates, that would be the end of it. That candidate would be declared acclaimed, and they would join council thereafter once they've sworn their oath.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Claus?
One more question there. Yeah, that 1 day at a time, I think that's kind of confusing because a lot of people thought it was going to be done then. And but is there if a person picks up their nomination papers here, just like 5 to 12, but they still have to come back before 12 with the 5 signatures, of course, because otherwise they are not recorded as a nominee.
Correct. Yeah, the legislation, is very clear, and of course, as administration, we want to get it right and follow the legislation to a T when it comes to something as important and critical as an election. So,
Thank you, Larry.
you're welcome.
Any, John?
Just to sort of expand on the day by day, what ultimately will happen if we go through the nomination period and we go through the extended nomination period and we still don't have a candidate or candidates? Do we just keep repeating the same process until we have?
Through the chair to Councillor Kurbis' question, very good question, and perhaps a possibility. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with that if and when. But what would happen then, again, mirroring the process as occurred with the general election and following the Local Authorities Election Act, we would notify the minister and wait for further direction.
Thanks, Larry.
You're welcome.
Anything further? Claus?
As a council, are we allowed to approach people from District 5?
I don't see any, I would be unaware of any restriction or limitation on that, at all. Absolutely. I mean, you can speak to the public as much as you choose. Yeah.
That always has been there.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Ann?
we do have 4 people on the list too that we will reach out after today that asked us to advise them when council had made a decision. So Candace will be reaching out to those 4 today.
Thank you. Okay, having received that information, What are the wishes of council? How would we like to proceed? Is there someone with an appetite to move the recommendation as presented? Morris?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, that's exactly, I would like to make my new motion, the way the recommendation came from management down there to proceed with the by-election down there and go ahead with that.
Thank you, Morris. Just for the sake of the fact that we are live streaming, if we could try and get into the habit, and I have no problem reading it myself. If you would like to make the motion, read the motion that is before you, or if you would like to obviously craft your own, that's obviously quite all right, just so we can have that transparency. So Morris has moved the recommendation that Monday, December 13th, 2021 be established as general voting day for by-election for Division 5 in Lethbridge County, and further that Candace Robison be appointed as returning officer and Maddie Elliott be appointed as substitute returning officer. So we have a motion before us. Any further discussion? I will then ask the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome. Thank you, council.
And just as an aside, as someone who has been here for the last 4 years and is embarking on a new term, I really hope that someone comes forward. I think we have a great opportunity, a great team before us. We obviously have some seasoned leadership that has great experience on council. Claus and myself have served a term, and we also have a blend of some new councillors. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm really hopeful that at least one person, if not more, can come forward and we can have an election and fill that empty chair and move forward as a full council. So thank you. Moving down, we will go down to Administration G 4.1, Municipal Internship Program Application. Hi, Dana.
Hi, good afternoon, County Council, and congratulations on your appointment, and thank you to the new members of Council and as well as our long-serving experienced members. You guys, I think, are going to be a great team, and I look forward to working with you. Today, I'm presenting a report for the Municipal Internship Program. Lethbridge County is requesting Council support to host a municipal intern starting in 2022. There have been changes. We were looking to host this intern under the financial stream. Previously, there was only one stream of a municipal intern program. Now there's a couple new streams. We believe this will be an opportunity for the county to grow another financial person to grow in the municipal sector. Interns will build upon their university credentials and gain the opportunity to apply that in a real work setting, learning through on-the-job experiences on top of their university degree. The program is made possible through the Alberta Community Partnerships Program. Back in 2013, Lethbridge County has hosted a municipal intern. At that time, it was a one-year program, and they were to be exposed to all areas of local government. We did have success in that program, but think if we were to do it again, we're in a much better position here to make sure that it's an incredibly value-added experience for the county as well as for this internship opportunity. I know personally from experience when you graduate from university, the tough transition there is to make. You come out, you're so eager, you're so ready to go, but sometimes getting that foot in the door is the huge struggle, making that transition from the university level school into the real world. We believe this would be a great opportunity to help bridge that and bring another person here to Lethbridge County to grow in the financial sector. Some pros, so we believe both the financial incentive and the concept of furthering young professionals, would be a benefit to Lethbridge County under this municipal internship program. The financial impact, this program does come with a $60,000 grant. It's an 18-month commitment that we would be making, so there is expenses on the county to be able to supplement that salary to pay them at a fair rate of pay. There's also requirements that they have to participate in some training and have an opportunity to go to one of the conferences offered as part of the municipal internship program. So the county is budgeting $30,000 to cover those costs of the additional expenses for computer setup, training, and salary expenses. We believe interns will bring knowledge, enthusiasm, and a new level of excitement and passion for local government. And we think that that would be a great bridge and a great opportunity to bring that into our organization. So the recommendation that I'm putting forward is that council support Lethbridge County to host a municipal intern beginning in 2022. It is a requirement on the intern application that we have council support to move ahead. Thank you. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thanks, Dana. Anne?
I have a question. Do we know when we'll get a response, Dan? I'm just thinking.
We're thinking it's going to be March. March.
Thank you.
Council?
We might know in January, sorry, but March possibly would be around the starting date. So we should hear in January. We don't know if we'll be selected. I'm sure a lot of municipalities will put in for this opportunity. And obviously there's only so many grants and so many interns that they would be able to award these positions to.
Thanks, Dana. Claus?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dan, we did not apply since 2013. Was that because there was no grants available, or we didn't see the need for that?
I think sometimes there's benefits of having an intern when you've got, a good staff contingent, you're building and growing as a team. Sometimes there's great opportunities to bring people in. I just think it wasn't the direction at the time that we had. 2013, I believe, is the only other year that we've ever done the intern program in the county's history. I believe it possibly was available in previous years. It just wasn't one of the opportunities we applied for.
Any further questions from council? Seeing none, how would you like to proceed? Mark?
I'd be happy to make the motion based on the recommendation that the council supports Lethbridge County in its application to host a municipal intern beginning in 2022.
Thank you, Mark. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
G 4.2, Community Futures request for letter of support. CAO Ann Mitchell.
Good afternoon. We've had a request from the Community Futures to provide a letter of support for their Digital Service Squad grant application. The executive summary is that we support this, and there is a draft letter attached. The Digital Service Squad grant will be used to provide free support to eligible small businesses in the community to navigate new digital tools and optimize their reach to potential customers to existing and new markets. And as we all know through the last 2 years of the pandemic, how important it is to be digitally savvy in our business. So the recommendation is to provide the letter of support.
Council, any discussion? Any questions of administration? Seeing none, I know, as I alluded to earlier, I know Steve Campbell spoke very highly of Community Futures, what they did, and their mantra, and I know it's a great asset for the community, for the region. So I would support this coming forward. Claus?
Well, we kind of had a little discussed that a little bit at the organizational meeting, and I think it's a good thing to be able to support this. So I think I'll make the motion that Lethbridge County supports Community Futures Lethbridge region. One councillor is appointed to the Community Futures at the organizational meeting to represent the Lethbridge County. That was the previous one, and now it's the Lethbridge for their digital service device grant application through the Business Link.
Thank you, Claus. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Thank you, Anne. Moving down, G4.3, Town of Nobleford ACP application, Regional Infrastructure Master Plan Project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the town of Nobleford has requested that Lethbridge County partner with them for a Alberta Community Partnership Intermunicipal Collaboration Grant application for the Regional Infrastructure Master Plan that they would like to undertake. Town of Nobleford would be the managing partner. However, the grant application does require council resolution from each participating municipality to support the program. So basically what they're looking at is updating their 10-year infrastructure master plan, and they're looking at their existing infrastructure within the town, where they're looking at expanding, how they're going to service that, and also how they can potentially have shared services to the county, such as water, wastewater, and things like that. So that's where the regional component kind of comes into play. So the recommendation that I have for you today is that Lethbridge County supports the town of Nobleford as a managing partner, submission of a 2020/2021 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Infrastructure Master Plan project, and there is no matching contribution required on Lethbridge County's behalf.
Thank you, Devin. Council, any questions of Devin? Claus?
Yeah, I just had a question here. The reasoning for, because I read through the whole thing and then I didn't see the reasoning. Do they have a project in mind that they want to update all this stuff and everything like that? Or is it just that it's high time that this is being done?
They need to update. They have an existing 10-year infrastructure master plan. It's outdated. So the primary goal of this is to update that IMP for 10 years, I guess, for the next 10 years. That's the intent, yeah.
Thank you, Devin. Any other questions? How would you like to proceed? John?
I'd be happy to make a motion that the Lethbridge County support the town of Nobleford as managing partner for submission for a 2020-2021 Alberta Community Partnership Grant application in support of the Regional Infrastructure Master Plan project.
Thank you, John. We have a motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Thank you, Devin. We are now moving down to the Lethbridge County Council attendance update, September 2021. CAO Mitchell?
Yes, and for the members that are no longer here, I'll just read out their committees if that's sufficient.
Thank you, Ann.
Okay.
We'll start Division 1. Reeve Hickey.
Thank you. September 2nd, we had Lethbridge County Council meeting. On September the 3rd, Mayors and Reeves for Southwestern Alberta. That's a organization of about 42 municipalities for Mayors and Reeves who meet every first Friday of every month from September through to June. And in June, we have a joint meeting with the Southeast Mayors and Reeves meeting, which is about pretty close to the same number. So there's about 90 municipalities come to that altogether. And quite often ministers will come down. There's lots of opportunity to ask different questions to the ministers who do, the MLAs who do attend. Have had very little success in attracting the MP for the area here. Rachel Harder does not attend. I have no idea why, but anyways, a couple of the others do attend, and they do provide pretty good information as well. On the 8th, I had my weekly meeting with the CAO. The 9th was Ag Service Board meeting. The 16th was County Council meeting. And the 20th was City Lethbridge Recognition Week flag raising and the permanent Blackfoot Confederation flag raising ceremony across the street here. And on the 29th, had another meeting with the CEO.
Thank you, Lauren. For myself, September 2nd, Lethbridge County Council meeting, the 9th, Ag Service Board meeting, and the 16th, Lethbridge County Council meeting. Division 3, Councillor Horvath was unable to perform his duties due to some health concerns in the month of September. So I will defer to you, Anne, for Division 4.
Division 4, Councillor Ken Benson. September 2nd, attended Lethbridge County Council meeting. September 9th, attended Agricultural Service Board meeting. And September 16th, attended Lethbridge County Council meeting. Division 5, Councillor Steve Campbell. September 2nd, attended Lethbridge County Council meeting. September 9th, attended Ag Service Board meeting. September 16th, attended Lethbridge County Council meeting. And September 28th, attended the Community Futures Board meeting.
Thank you. Division 6, Councillor Claus Vanderveen.
September 2nd, Lethbridge County Council meeting. September 9th, Agriculture Service Board meeting. September 16th, Lethbridge County Council meeting. September 24th, SEWA meeting. And September 27th, Lethbridge Regional Waste Management and Service Commission meeting.
Thank you, Claus. Division 7, Morris.
Yep, thank you. September the 2nd, Lethbridge County Council meeting. September the 9th, Agriculture Service Board meeting. And September the 16th, Lethbridge County Council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Morris. Thank you. For the new members of council, I know that we have had this discussion internally. I will defer to council what their wishes are in this regard. As these have all been presented, it will be noted in the minutes that these were presented. Therefore, I don't believe that a motion is necessary. However, if council sees fit, I will entertain a motion to accept for information on matters such as this. I'll leave it at the discretion of the councillors at the table how they would like to proceed. Claus?
I think as we have done in the past, I think I'll continue with that, and I'll move the recommendation that the Lethbridge Council receive the report titled Lethbridge County Council Attendance Update September 2021, identifying the activities and events attended by the Lethbridge County Council for the month of September 21 as information.
Thank you, Claus. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. And if there's nothing further, I would entertain a motion for adjournment. Morris?
Move so, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Morris. Thank you, staff.